of the focus areas in terms of PSG is we've decided to focus more on commercial business. So about 3 years ago, that's been part of our strategy, and we've changed our business to the extent that 60% of our business now is commercial business. On the personal side, it's obviously something that's more commoditized. So we just feel that, by focusing more on commercial business, it's a sticky part of the business, and it's just more profitable. So that's maybe one of the trends that we've identified. I think the complexity in terms of cyber is that people really get tangled up in terms of the terminology of IT. So often they feel they need to be IT experts. So what tends to happen, people talk about phishing and spear phishing, and they talk about malware, and they talk about cyber attacks and pineapple and honeypots and all sorts of stuff like that. And then people really start to get tangled up in terms of the complexity of the IT world. So they feel that they're not familiar with it. What they should do is they should rather instead just focus on the risk that it poses to a business. So cyber liability is nothing really other than the protection of your data. So there are two parts in terms of cyber liability. The one is the protection of your data, and the second one is that if your business is dependent on web enablement, for example, running a plant, or you're dependent in terms of your website, those are things that can be contaminated. Now, what many people or businesses don't understand is that data has got a value to it. So obviously there's a black market value to it. So once I, for example, can steal your information, I can go and sell it on the dark web, and there's a value. So I think the complexity is that many advisors do not have the knowledge in terms of cyber liability or the risk that it imposes. So my advice to advisors is really to start to understand cyber liability or the risks, and to start to chat to the clients about it. Another challenge in terms of cyber liability is that often when you deal with your clients, there's some IT-related type of questions. Now, if you're not familiar with things like firewall and anti-spyware and so forth, you're going to find it very difficult. But those are things that you can overcome. I think on the social media side, I mean, what we're saying to people is that they must err on the conservative side. So what PSG has done is we've got very clear policy and guidelines in terms of what you need to do. So part of the panel discussion is that you can't really divorce yourself from your corporate entity to that of your personal entity. So you can't go onto social media and say, what, this is my opinion, but PSG believes something different. What we've also given guidance to the people is that we've given them a toolkit how they can effectively make use of social media. So we don't want to scare people away from social media. We want to encourage people to make use of social media, but just do that in a responsible way.